The views expressed in the Up Inside Your podcast are that of its presenters and do not reflect the views of sponsors.
However, side effects may include laughter, love, black business promotion, constructive criticism, understanding, laughter, fun, withdrawal symptoms when we go on vacation, laughter, and scintillating conversation.
Love it.
Yeah, we
Love
plug
it.
in. Good night,
Love
good night,
it.
good night.
Love it. I
Good
love
Hi.
it.
night. I want to say good night,
Good night,
folks, and
everybody. It
welcome to
is
this week's
time
episode of
for
Inside Your
inside ya,
Podcast.
inside ya, inside ya, inside ya,
Um,
inside ya, inside ya.
Uh-huh.
No, I can
is
make a
this
four
gonna
song to
work?
that one there, man. What a bit and see. It can be a four
Well, thank
song,
you.
man.
Thank
All
you for
right.
the
So
intro
I
to
just want to say,
that.
yeah, you don't know, you always got on the cover, man. I be looking to create different intros every week just to keep it nice and smooth and sweet. But I want to say
All
a
right.
special good night to every single person for joining the Up Inside Your podcast. We have the lovely. Look, hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
you.
Hello. Oh, I wasn't. Oh, I get a little spot there just now. Yeah, okay, good. All right. We want to say a special good night to the lovely Janelle and my brother from another mother, Keita. So
Blessings,
let me
bro.
just start it off on a very somber tone. We got to say rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman, who lost his life August 28th, 2020. So let me all salute him. Wakanda forever. Rest in peace to him.
Rest in peace.
And
Wakanda
then
forever.
also, I got news today that a local legend, Calypsonian legend, lost his life today, and that would be Observer. I'm not sure if everybody would have heard about that, but condolences to both of these
Yeah,
icons, one international and one local.
yeah.
So we wish the best to them and their families at this trying time.
I also want
But
to,
tonight up inside you.
before you go on, I want to
Okay, go
also
ahead, Go ahead.
send out my sincere condolences to the family and close friends of one of our schoolmates, Deanna Brown, who would have passed away from complications of lupus earlier this week. And
Oh,
she would have been
Oh,
really um, the epitome of a success story. Her mantra was choice and not chance, and she made a lot of good choices in her life. 38 years old, and she lived it fully. She was diagnosed with lupus as a teenager, and she just pressed through pain and accomplished so much. So I also wanted to send out my condolences to her family as well. But
condolences.
she's also
Yeah,
a legend
condolences
in
to
her right.
yeah,
her family, condolences to the family and friends.
yeah.
Yeah, you were saying that?
Rest in peace to her. Yeah. Right. So tonight's episode of Versus Season 2 on Up Inside Ya, it is called Expectation versus Reality, as not seen on TV. No. With that being said, I believe that we all have wonderful, wonderful points to make tonight, and we're going to try our best to get through as much of them as possible. So, Keita, for you, I starting with you tonight, my brother. How do you view expectation versus reality? Give me a topic and let me just start talking about it, man.
Um, First reality could be so much different, and it goes to a wide range. The major topic is my mind from seeing on TV is we these TV shows. I guess parenting look like on TV as opposed
Right.
to reality of what parenting is, and see on TV and what we go through in everyday life. So, for instance, we grew up watching a very popular series where dad is in the household, and a mother, and they're in a relationship, and everything's happy and great, and when dad don't got the answer, mom got the answer, to lean on this buddy.
Mhm.
But reality is, often than not for us, one
Right.
and fathers might not be green and vivid in front of children, but we never see. You always see the polished version of everybody, very see the trophy version of everything you see on TV. So it is a big difference to to what's going on. So that's one of the major
Okay.
things I want to speak on because it's like, all right,
Well,
we live
uh-huh.
in a world where TV is easily accessible to anybody, and a child might see this life on TV, be like, oh, this is what I want to be as a parent. Or growing up, you be like, oh, this is what I want to be as a parent. I want to live in a I want I
It's
want
our
to
I am
grow up to be
frozen.
Chad.
so I want to grow up to be an adult and have a child, have a family of 4 children, and be able to and have a wife, and things be nice and everything be sweet, but it's not
Yeah.
as easy or as it on TV. I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
impossible, or definitely not that easy. Definitely not.
Definitely.
I guess we should I have to explain to our children or know that you don't want burst but but it's not always put ourselves in a position where the children come out knowing that this is a really nice TV show or a really nice piece, but the reality for the average family lives their life. So,
Alright, I try to know. I was for sure. But my I do agree with everything you said. Man, the first time I remember came up with the topic, my first thing was parenting and the difficulties of balancing what you see on TV to what reality is and how difficult it is for like I mean here, there's my daughter and myself and a sitcom TV is just seeing everything just be perfect. From Family Matters right down to Stuck in the Middle, all of these
that's the
different
first thing that comes to
sitcoms.
mind.
Exactly, it's like things are so perfect, and then you don't have the questioning of what is on TV as a parent, and then our influence in the Caribbean. That's one of the biggest things. How we were raised impacts heavily on how we parent, and our reality is not the TV that we watch reality. And we don't have any Caribbean sitcoms to say that you could see somebody getting sorry, the tail burst in the middle of the road. I mean, because
That'd be
lashing
great.
was a
That would be great
reality
though.
for
That'd be
us.
good. That would be good.
It's
Yeah,
true.
that would be good.
And lashing is a reality for us, and you'll see on everybody's saying, "Oh, reasoning and thing." And I'm like, what would a dumb burst when you talking about? Go in your bedroom and sit down and do it. Huh? And
Just
then they
go
all
for a moment.
it's true. So I do agree though. Parenting is nothing like what you see on TV. Nothing. Chad?
Yeah, I was just
Oh,
ensuring that everybody could hear me
yeah,
before I.
You want some late, bro. I can hardly see it, though. You want some late.
yeah. And the
Yeah, I don't know if
connection
it's my
something.
connection, my Wi-Fi, or something. But when they
You can
could hear
pass
me
through.
though,
We can
more
hear
so than
you.
seeing me
Yes,
could
you can
hear
pass
me.
through. Yes, yeah.
All right, visuals gonna go like at this point to what he said. No, you basically two things that I had said. I had movies, but movies is basic to do with actual life. So parenting and movies, relationships and movies, the expectations of meeting somebody in a group or a bar be amalgamated under the topic of movies. But I want to speak to to the factor of parenting and movies. Now, I think Janelle and I had this conversation of say where we were speaking about being parents and how we would love to have the ability to take our children on trips because whenever we see movies we see families that have so much financially it seems it's not
Yeah.
said but you can see it where a family would have annual vacation where that everybody leaves the country and they go on their family trips and it's like okay you want a particular type of parent where that you can offer to your children the ability to widen their horizons where you leave what you know and you go in what you don't necessarily know or considered everyday life because you don't enjoy vacation unless you leave your country because you can just end up doing normal things that you otherwise would do when you were home. So difficulty is when it comes to parenting when you're watching movies, when you're watching series like that, it comes with the expectation of a child that okay, well, mommy, I see that, or daddy, I see that, they do this. And we can even carry a step where their friends have money resources, have a whole bunch available to them that you may not have because you might be a single or you might be a household that you don't have a whole bunch of disposable. So then puts a pressure or a strain on you as a parent where comes and say, well, mommy or always working, you always you don't have any time for us to go, time for me to do this, and becomes very, very challenging as a parent to not all or check all of the boxes of say you're a parent. Sorry, to parenting. So it is something that I am people sitting down and having with the children, helping them to understand where in society they're lying because there's nothing wrong or there's no shame in it to your child who may be a 2 year old and understand all of that stuff. But it is the onus is on you as to tell your child that I am from the working class. I am from the class where that you gotta get up and work and you gotta put in your 9+ hours at a job in order to make ends meet. You might got two jobs, three jobs, depending on the trade. Like if you're an accountant, you could find countless jobs. If you're a person in healthcare, you could find countless other jobs. If you're an electrician, a plumber, whatever, you would obviously find other income to easy be having money to making yours meet. So please do give children the rationale that you're supposed to have all of this now, you're supposed to have all of this money, you're supposed to have all of these resources for us to have this type of lifestyle or that type of lifestyle. So it makes it difficult. But I definitely want to get on movies and relationships. I don't know if anybody has anything else to add on that before we transition into the relationship portion, movies and relationships.
Go ahead.
Everybody,
I know you.
anybody
I know
say
You
you
know
anything?
what?
itching.
You did say a
Oh,
lot just now, so
Uh-huh.
I don't have much to say after you said so.
but he just to take a hint.
Right, all right.
He just to take a hint of this whole relationship thing, men versus
Yeah,
women.
You know
no,
what,
no, I versus women. I is enough in the men versus
I know. I just
tonight
teasing you. I'm
regarding
just teasing.
relationships. I don't know you teasing me. Don't worry. Um, is that you see, as a nation, we love to think that we have heavy resolve, and when I say we are the more and the of movies hit us, but the actual opinions and approach. Oh my God! See, let me see. All right. Whoa, no. Yeah. Right. So okay. So The I was being told a bit bad. Sorry about that. What I'm saying about movies, and most of the time, people think they are immune. G's that movies every day, documentaries, whatever. What I need people to understand, right, is that these unrealistic and far-fetched ideas and beliefs how relationships actually get influenced by people who watch them and then relationships expecting these. I can give one a couple of such. Whenever a man goes into a sees a woman, they exchange like they could got like hundreds of people, and you and this person that is like is an exchange of a sexually charged view. Like you looking at me, you smiling, you biting, you, and then the next we bursting into a hotel room, off we clothes, and we getting to have sex. Is that sort of trail
Try to hear,
would
try to hear every other word that you said. I can barely hear you.
I really ain't sure what's going on with my things to all right, what to do? Continue moving on. I can give my stuff a restart and come back.
All right, no problem, man. John, you
No
want
problem,
Adi
no
to
problem.
what? Start with that?
Right. Well, he was talking about the relationships and things in the movies, and I find that but I wasn't sure where he was going at this particular point. But I know that in the movies, you see the protagonist and thing, and you make you love their life, and then they start to they have whatever ups and downs, but the ups and downs that they have are so superficial compared to real relationships.
Reality,
Case in
yeah.
point, yes, the Hallmark movies and everything, and love always wins in the end, and that is not true.
Yeah,
I
of course.
find, I find that some of the things that we don't get in the movies, the fact that you have relationships where persons are not on the same um plot in the relationship, where one person is given 100% and the other person is only given 40 or 50%, and this is while you're actually in a relationship. You don't find that imbalance coming out in movies like that. I prefer to talk about the sitcoms because you can actually build you can see things building in a longer period of time, so you can get to know characters better. But regardless of however we spin it, the relationships are not the same. It's either everything is just glorified, or they're really turbulent relationships. Like back in the
It
day
ain't
with
between.
where exactly there's no in between. And then who do we model after? Because I remember watching the Tina Turner movies and things when she and Ike used to be at it all the time. That was one type of relationship. And then you had the Cosby Show with how the Huxtables were. That was a different type of relationship.
Yeah.
But where was the in between there for me to actually model? And then when it go based on what happens around me, uh, ain't much modeling that I
That is
could,
true.
nothing that I can, and
Yeah,
that
I agree
actually
because
we have issues then when we're building relationships because we don't have any information from persons that we see that we can emulate. We go based on the things in our lives and try to find our way through, and it becomes more difficult.
I think the problem is we don't see past the script of what is showed on TV. Yeah, you can see people happy in a relationship on TV or the Cosby Show or Sanford, not Sanford, the apartment Sky, who you call them there? What are people there know?
Yeah.
Jeffersons. Jeffersons,
Jefferson,
right? Jefferson.
Jefferson.
You can see two different relationships. You can see two different types of men. At any day, you can see two people following a script. That's the only thing that going in accordance to one another. Because at any day, nobody's situation is the same. You can't judge your relationship or what you can get out of your relationship based on what these people that are reading a script are going to portray. You can take good things from them, you can learn things from them, what's not, but you cannot be picture perfect. Your relationships will always come back into full circle because they are written. You understand? So as much as we say and do, and we try to say, all right, this relationship goals and this and that, we don't know what happened in the background. So it's like, yeah, expectation growing up. Oh, I can go to the movies with a girl and wear a jacket because that's what you see on TV. There's always going to let a jacket because that's the epitome of cool. And then you
Yeah,
go to the
yeah.
movie with my girlfriend and watch a movie. Then we can kiss, and then we can come home, and then we can sneak in the house because that's what's portrayed on TV
Don't forget
as a
you will
relationship
put
as a young
your
as a
don't
young
forget
person.
you will put your jacket around her shoulders. Don't forget that part.
Yeah. Yeah, or when you're at the movies, you're gonna yawn and stretch and put your hand around her when you're stretching. So that's part of the process, and that's something that you see on TV that is so common almost every TV show when people are in a relationship and it's like, all right, is this what I'm going to be as an adult? Like, when you was growing up, this is what you can be as an adult. Like what is expected of me in a relationship based on what you see in TV. A lot of TV, we're seeing a lot of real housewives of and then real house husbands of, and that's our fake reality thing. And the sad thing is, in people's mind, this is actually real. And people saying, "Oh, I'm a bad bitch, and I'm this, and I'm that." My man can provide this sort of money for me because that's the lifestyle they living on TV. Don't come talking to me if you will come and you'll come. If you'll come and got 3 digits, don't talk to me. You know what I mean? Like that's the sort of like relationship life that people are portraying on TV. That people are taking as a reality stunt.
I think, Chad, you were going into the sex part of it, which is something we also have to we touch on. We didn't touch on that part. We just talking about just the general relationship, in a relationship, how persons communicate, etc.
Correct,
So,
Tyrone.
Yeah.
Correct,
But
Tyrone.
you see
This
how things is work
program.
out. You see how things is work out. The expectation versus reality. I expect that my internet again work good tonight, but reality is that was
somebody asked you if you're on slow.
I didn't hear you, Janelle. If somebody asked me,
Somebody asked you if you're on slow network or if it's the St. Andrew
is
connection.
I on the same network that I for the past 12 episodes very good. So I would like these people to stay get off of it. Okay? So you guys were speaking speed again. You said that you guys were speaking about the relationships and what exactly again?
We were speaking basically on what we see on TV as the benchmark for a relationship and the
Right,
small things that TV program us to see in a
right.
relationship as being cool and what is to be done. You were going into a different point with regards to sex and a whole different tantrum that we were on, but I'm not sure where you were going with that one.
Right. Well, ultimately, right, I was just saying that a lot of people take what these series and rich people's lives assume that that is how it's going to go for us or the attainable situation. So it just came to my thoughts. A young lady that I at the Polytechnic, she is obsessed with Cardi B. That her entire lifestyle mimics how Cardi B lives. The boyfriend that she chose, it was a dark skinned fellow with dreads and all that stuff because married to Offset. So it goes to show that people are influenced, even though that they like to think that they are not. That was ultimately my point, where that people need to be aware that they don't unrealistic beliefs into actual real life relationships. And then when it doesn't reach that benchmark, all of a sudden, I can't be with this person. That was pretty much the point that I was trying to have before my internet started to play the fool. But I want to keep it, I want moving along. Let me talk about age, the expectation of age versus of age. Because within our we are told that by a certain age you should have you should have children, you should have a home, you should have a really great job, You should don't got investments. You should got the pick for them things. Now recognizing that people don't reach that particular people that we grew up when we were much younger because I am and I don't own a home. You understand? I it's like I and I any quote unquote shame in saying something like that because somebody is expected to have a wife, a house, a car, a, this amount of children, this amount of money, like all of that stuff. Tell me how I wanna feel about age and the age versus the reality. And Janelle, no, you are a mother of two. You definitely have something to weigh in, and especially from a woman's perspective too, because at a certain age, you supposed to got a husband, boyfriend, no more. You should be saying husband. Talk to us about that
It's
there.
true. Actually, some persons are saying they didn't agree with what we were saying. That they believe that people can they do differentiate between the
Okay.
difference in what is on TV and what happens in reality. But I find that we are so it happens so subconsciously. We do not
Hmm.
even realize that what we see does influence heavily on the decisions that we make or how we feel about these things, how things don't work out. Because you will see, as you would have said, when you're
Hmm.
growing up, people are getting in a house and getting married and stuff like that. I remember my friends used to pick out their wedding dresses, what they envision their wedding dresses to look like when we were 16, 17 years old. And there's some of us who have not gotten married. And I also know that there are a lot of women who, as what you pointed out, and particularly women who people really like, "Well, you're 40, well, you don't got no children yet. Why you in this and that thing?" And always have something to say. You don't know what people are going through. Funny enough, this month is PCOS month. This is polycystic ovarian syndrome awareness month. And there are a lot of women who are told, well, you when you ain't got no children yet, or whatever, were you waiting on? And they don't know that what a lot of women are struggling to get pregnant. They don't know that because what people see on TV is that by a particular age, you're supposed to have this and you're supposed to have that. Certainly, all women are supposed to have children. Some make the choice not to, and some have difficulties because of their cycle. I say some. I'm very fortunate and I'm very grateful for where I am in my life. But I also, and I tell myself, well, I could have been a lot further. And I also know because what I see happening around me, the other persons who have accomplished, sometimes it's getting your feelings, though. You'll be like, cheese numbers, but I ain't got no house or nothing for myself or for my children or whatever. Or the other, as they say, with the same women who don't have any children, they didn't make the right decision to say that I want to put my career first. It's only now that you're seeing a lot more shows that there has more career women being put in the limelight. That was not the norm on TV before. So now the TV actually started to shift with what was happening in reality. A lot of women were choosing their careers. A lot of women were having making some decisions for themselves in reality, and then we were having our TVs actually making that shift with them. But I know that is just a number, and there are a lot of people who accomplish a lot in their older age, like Colonel Sanders. I always use him as an example, and we don't need to use the benchmark of TV or even the benchmark of society to determine where we're supposed to be in our lives.
What more can I say that has not already been said? To
Hmm.
be honest, me being the person in the group children, in my church, I feel the pressure from on me or older folks. Well, you ain't got children, you're 30, you got children, but
Let me
no,
see
and this
grass,
and
big
that.
man.
Huh? And it's
Tell me how
like
you
you
talking
being
about, huh?
told, people in general. I mean, people that know you for years want to know what you're waiting on. I mean, pressure on people for nothing. I mean, like, I how it is right now. I'm really ready for children. Children, is, people put their career first, and people scrutinize them for it because it's something like you're putting your career ahead of your lifestyle and this and your life and what is expected of you. But what is expectation? What is the definition of an expectation? Right? That's something you expect of someone. I know what I expect of myself. I know what
Right.
I feel comfortable doing. I know what my personal goals are. People don't know people's goals, and then it'd be like you might got a personal goal to accomplish something by this particular thing, and somebody coming at you telling you, "Oh, this God, you gotta do this in your life, man, because this is how I live my life. So this is how you should be living your life too." Like, but I don't want to live my life that way. I'm my own person. You know what I'm saying? I'm my own person, so I
Mm-hmm.
understand exactly where you get coming from, and there's a very big narrative where people go down that line, and you get that sort of energy from people telling you how you should live your life and what your relationship life should be like coming up
Right.
That
based on
I
your
think
age.
is.
And
Go ahead.
age, you'd be surprised the maturity of different people at different ages. You can't look at somebody and say, well, you're 37, so you should be this, or you should be that. They got 37-year-olds, okay, so doing childish things, doing
Yeah.
childish behavior, spend all the money when the month come, anything about responsibilities and all sorts of different things. Like they got 40-year-olds that are living our life. So by your age, it, so
Correct.
yes, you can say you 40, you should be this, live differently, but then people don't look at. I see it too often. I see every breath of life, and I know they got different. You can just how people say you can't look at a cover. You can't look at somebody and judge them by the age. It's the same principle.
Yeah, but you were saying that I think that a lot of the person has
Right.
what
So
you call judgment. Those people do have their own deficits that they don't want you to know about, but they want to highlight yours. So they're struggling in different areas of their lives where they can come and point out, well, you ain't do this and you ain't do that. No, if you stay in your lane and get out of my business, then we would all be happy. But I find that people are so quick to be looking at others when they're really just trying to hide their own issues, what they
Mm.
are, their insecurities, what they haven't accomplished that they wish that they had, and we just are on the what they'll say the dirty end of the stick.
Yeah, I get your point. Chad. Before let me
yeah,
finish this
man.
topic. I want to talk about crime, right? And crime in different aspects
Crane.
of the crime. Yeah, crime. You know, crime don't pay.
Okay.
Crime, that crime, right? The pertains to seeing crime on and the reality of crime, right? What that goes on in TV that we see, like these criminal shows, people think that reality, and a lot doesn't go into these criminal shows. People out there believe that within themselves they could be detectives and stuff because of things that they learn on TV, and they don't know. I just wonder if y'all got any views on that, because I could speak with regards to things on TV. For instance, like the TV show Health and the hospital shows, the fire department, all them detective shows and so on. That people are thinking that they're learning ever so much. So it's a huge difference than what's happening in reality.
So in terms of crime, we speaking of crime
Yeah,
that versus what we see. That's what you were saying.
yeah, yeah.
Well, for me, it's really very simple because Kita, that there are two sides to every story, or usually is whichever you believe in. Crime is usually something that is put right for amount, period. But we do understand that there are situations where people something with the expectation of, okay, I just doing this because I need a hope. There's no other way for me to get through. So again, do what you gotta do. And when you look at it from that perspective, you could kind of understand where this criminal is coming from. But just being plain as they talking about crime is something that I think it is accurately um I think it is accurately shown on TV as it is in person, with minor details not being the same. Why I say it looks the same to me is because fast money is always something that's glorified. Being a gangbanger is something that's always glorified. Being a drug dealer is something that's always. You hear people that are multi-millionaires speaking about this corner selling nickel bags and doing this and doing that. All of a sudden, if I were to get involved, could possibly reach this, and I could get away from criminal element. I could move away from being this low level thing to a high level thing, and I could a place. That's why I say close, because that's what's shown on TV. But the differences are they don't show you the element where people lose their lives, and that reach the level of where they could turn their money legit and become a big business owner or a multi-millionaire for whatever people who would have lost their lives around them. You know, the success story is only about them. Like if they were the only person in their journey, like, and have
Correct.
a really good friend, we moving together, we going wobble, we turning up on block. But then it just a club and we outnumbered. But I had to run a. I say rest in peace to keep. I changed my way. I go some kind of really big mega millionaire. Oh,
Yeah, you breaking up again, bro.
oh, it really am my night tonight. And my night
Jill, anything
tonight.
you want to on?
But I don't really agree with what y'all are saying in terms of what I see on TV and what happens in reality when it comes to crime. I find that crime is glorified on TV, and a lot of cases can go unsolved on TV. A lot of people get away with murder on TV.
That's
Um,
exactly what I was trying
when I
to
watch Blacklist, people going about the place, shooting, killing, and people there will say that they could come here and do the same thing. But when they shoot somebody 2 days later, everybody know who do what, though. Hardly do we have cases go across here in Barbados,
Or we
particularly
got
in Barbados.
we got criminals out here that are about showing people with an ID card in the pocket and they dropping all things. So I
You
mean,
imagine that? You
we live
imagine?
in and it's things like watching these shows, right? Is like people don't know that half these shows, like for instance, with police shows, like the cop that doing the show, like the main cop of the show, don't actually do everything in real life. Like the whole fingerprint process is take way longer in reality than it actually does on these shows and that sort of thing. It's like a lot of these small things, and even though like the way the criminals just interact with one another in these shows, and the way we try to interact, the criminals locally try to interact with each other is totally different.
Totally different.
So they can try, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's
I find that I
ridiculous.
remember one of my first shows watching that sat with me, set it off. In terms of getting into life of crime and stuff, and obviously women in life of crime that was definitely different. But that case ended. That show ended pretty much like what happens here. The people can get catch. Somebody might get away. They may not get away forever.
Right.
But you do. There is always hardly do we find things going unsolved. And then in terms of the gun violence and stuff like that, you speak about crime, but when we look at the gun violence, people saying that they can just get a gun and shoot and kill whomever and get away with it.
Mhm.
But now, especially with social media, it is so much easier to be caught. One thing I do find that happens now a lot more like in TV is the recording of things. You actually get him more people with security systems and stuff like that. You can
Yeah.
watch the lady. The case the other day with the guy and the motorcycle around going stealing the guy motorcycle with a whole sheet on him. The
Yeah,
motorcycle was
like a
actually found. Like when you carry
like a
somebody's
office.
car or something like that. When you do that in the States or in the UK, you could that can become totally untraceable. Here, somebody for hit boy here hardly is it that you can get away with it.
Yeah, but it look cool on
Um,
TV.
yeah, it
It
does.
look good on
I guess
TV.
it may be it's thrilling in the moment. It may be exhilarating in that moment, but don't be an idiot. Don't be foolish now.
Agreed. Anything else from you, Chad?
Yeah,
You still there?
I just trying to hear what going on and everything, cause I kind of because I had to go and come back in. I really certain as to where it is I end up and that. So I am one like Masha. I got other things that I want about expectation for.
But what do people say? Because you see, you are struggling with your internet, but I can't see the comments. I keep trying to check in every month, but then I will get the feedback.
We're
So
saying that so Chad's struggling with the internet. Let me talk about internet. Like we see on TV all these ads and stuff about how fast the internet can be, and the reality is we don't even get the speeds that the broadcasters or the actual service providers actually say that they will provide. And it's so evident you pay most of the time you pay for speeds that you don't get, or sometimes half the time your service don't be working as properly as it should. And it's so interesting that we see all these things on advertisements, and it's easy, it's seamless, and half the time these things don't work. And I
yeah, they
guess
say
Chad's doing it right
John
now.
having that issue because I
Yeah,
actually learned
definitely.
y'all are the tech people, but I learned that your internet or your speeds are as fast as your devices or your
Yeah,
internet speed. So if you have a really top notch device and your internet speed is rubbish, then you can be at rubbish levels. And if you have internet that's really high but your devices are struggling, then
Mhm.
you can
yeah,
still be struggling.
correct.
So
Could transition though.
but
We could
Chad is the
transition.
internet.
We could transition. We could transition from the internet issues and things because I mean we were about Lime and digital flow. Let me talk about online versus meeting them in person. The expectation of what people show you when they're talking to you on the internet messenger, whether it's Facebook, DM, WhatsApp. Finally decide to give to opportunity to meet you in person, and it could even be something like physically they don't look close to what the picture showing or the picture of them was 15 years ago. I know you got you. It could be a situation that the personality that bring into you, uh, they can't replicate it in person. Things like that. So tell me how I want to feel. The filters versus reality.
Right. I was just about to say that, right? Because to be honest, right? I remember a time I went out, right? I was out with a couple of my boys, and this fellow was telling me about this girl that he see on IG that's a model and what's not, right? When I see the person in person, right? Like, sorry for the bad wording, but when I see this lady in person, right? I could not believe it was the same person based on the filters and so on. I I mean, it gets so common now with the use of filters that it's very hard to tell what is real from what is not real. Because they got filters that are doing some everything you could think of, enhancing your skin tone, and making your eyebrows good, thinner, all sorts of different you could think of that filter is doing.
Like, hey, bros, look.
And it's really, yeah, they're making eyebrows look thinner, and I child, you could be light skin with a good filter. I
But
tell you,
you,
you could be light skin with a good filter. You could be light skin with a good filter. You could look like Drake with a good filter. I tell you, um, and the reality is that the children or people growing up now don't know what to expect when they meet someone in person that they don't know because of filters and these different things. I'm not going to say that I've never used a filter before, but some people use filters to the point where it takes their whole the image of you or the image of that person to a different level. I think we lost you know.
Janelle gone?
I mean,
Oh, okay, cool. All right,
right.
keep talking to Rikita.
Right, but no, I'm just saying that filters or means of one person is totally different. Plus, you always got this conception in your head of meeting someone or seeing a picture of someone, and it's like, oh, in my head, this person look this way, they can talk this way, and then you might message them back and forth on the instant messaging app, and see the person type. Then you might see the person send you a voice note, and this real nice voice, and what's not, right? And then you meet the person in reality, and the person sounds super urban. The person chewing gum. The person smiling in the photo on Instagram, but when they smile, the missing teeth. Also, are different things you could think of, Chad, that you would see meeting somebody in person versus meeting somebody versus their profile, their persona given to you from an online platform. I don't know what's your experience.
Experience, brother. Oh my god. How
Are
much
you
time you
using?
got? How much time you got? Janelle, want
Well,
to talk to me,
let
man?
me let you know the first.
Yeah, let Janelle talk.
You go ahead.
Cause Janelle is a woman, and I don't know that man got be names and the promoting this, promoting that, but the man got this or that. So I thought we about the things, man.
You know, have you ever used the filter? You know, have you ever
Okay.
used the filter? Is
If I
is
have ever
have you
what?
ever met? If you ever used the filter, or you ever meet a man that uses the filter?
No, I don't like the internet for that reason. Listen, I can tell you a story from years ago. Quick, fast. So remember we used to go into Club Extreme all the time, right?
She club that.
Good
You
one,
remember
dude.
your cousin now at Club Extreme, right?
Correct.
So
Dark.
I met
Oh,
somebody at Club Extreme, we exchanged numbers and everything. And I was like, yeah, boy. And like this boy was getting a good vibe. And from for years I was feeling energy off of people or whatever. Anyway, so I decided after we were talking for a few weeks, not too long. Not too long, but that we can meet up and thing again. And I remember when I got hold the bus and the person was on the other side of the road and I looked across and I was like, monkey dog, what the hell? Because he had on a hat, right? In Club Extreme, but when I saw him with all the hat on, I was like, okay. Is that like a monkey? What was I thinking?
I will have you know that
That was
monkey.
a good. I think from then on,
monkeys
I
are
told
cute.
myself, oh yeah, monkeys are
Monkeys are
cute.
cute.
Yes. Yeah, I think from then on, I told myself, nah, no, I ain't about this internet. I ain't about this life at all. So
Man,
I
that
really tried to
one out
limit.
of how much? Just choose the wrong one out to the
It was
portrait.
it was
Baby, put
enough
your
for
hand in
me.
anything again. Put your hand inside the hat,
I
so
am
I
I
pull
am
another
so
name.
good. I am so good. It was enough for me. I am sorry, but
I got
I
enough
want to see you live
stories
right
that I
there
could
right
show
now.
when back in the day when you used to meet people in the alley there by Care Shepherd and thing, but I don't
Yeah.
want we to go into the personal stories because they might get a little narky up in here with that one. So in terms of the online meeting people, let me tell you something. I don't believe in these filtered things. Whenever I come across files and a lot of the quote unquote fake stuff, putting these what koala things and noses and like dogs and all that stuff, we got nothing in common from the jump. Because if that entertains you, I definitely am going to be talking to you about anything serious. So I
There you
just
go,
leave that
punk.
right out.
Well, too.
I just
I
leave that
don't have
out.
a problem. I don't have a serious problem with people using a filter some of the time or to have fun because I myself have Snapchat. I myself have. There's a little boy that lives with us. My sister is Godson, and me and him play around on Snapchat, and it's fun for children and what's not to use the filters and have fun and stuff. But at the same time, if you are overusing a filter, if every photo you post or every photo you put up something with is a picture
Doctoring
of
it.
you with a filter or doctored or photoshopped or edited to make your features look in a different manner. But they're talking about the dogs and they're talking about the ears and all that stuff. We're talking about
I
your
still don't get
features,
down with that. I
you
understand what
face,
you're
you
saying, but I
face,
don't get that.
you
But that
faces
was
to
me.
got
That was
bumps and you ain't supposed to be a
uh
real person. You ain't supposed to got a bump in your face. You don't got a scar. You got a scar on your face permanently, but you ain't supposed to got a scar on your face ever. I don't understand that, but the photos are overdue, huh?
Mm.
The actual filter is over the
Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess that's my personal opinion where with the animal. I just don't find that stuff cute in the least. So I just from the time I see that, I just know but I ain't got nothing in common with this individual. That's just I might be wrong for it, but that's just how I feel.
It's just,
I
we're in
can't
a different generation though, because millennials compared to Generation Z, that's what they like. That's what they into. Filters and stuff like
right,
that. And me, on the
but
other hand, nah.
but let me be honest though, they got a lot of people in our age group that doing that stuff, and there's people like you talking about. I ain't talking about the youngsters because the youngsters gotta do what youngsters gotta do. Cause when we the young, we the doing whatever it was that we was
They
doing
are
at that
saying,
point in time. But so I don't judge that. I speaking about somebody that would be around our age group that you might be interested in or that you would want to talk to, and then they're involved in the stuff that where you say quote unquote the young people. So I that about it.
But you guys
But
so
there
try
was
you
something wanted us.
we just said that
Uh huh.
age is a number. We just said that age is just a number. So
Uh
if
huh.
that person's mentality is that they're that
Right.
age and this is what they want to do, age is just a number. So
Uh
it's
huh.
the same thing.
All right.
We
But
just
let me tell you
contradict
this
the
though. But let me say, no, I don't think I contradict because I believe that age is just a number. But the fact of the matter is, when you are of a certain age, I believe that there are things that you just should not be messing with. Like you would say, when you was 20 years old, when you are 40, you got the same mindset of a 20-year-old. Of course not, because you don't have
yeah.
maturity, you don't have growth. I'm just saying that I don't
But
find
that
that and I don't find
but
it
that
cute, I don't find it attractive, nothing like that. That's just me. So
but
I'm
we
saying
being
for me,
counterproductive because if you're saying that
uh,
it's similar to like when we telling old people to use the ATM, they can say, oh, that's for young people.
mm,
Because you put it in the
nah,
bracket of age. You know
nah,
what I'm
nah.
saying? Because
I
you put
just,
it in
but
the bracket.
personally me,
But we
I
got
want an 18-year-old
Chad, look
woman
at
with,
this
with a
way.
dog emoji. That's just me.
But Chad, you looking at that because that's the young people thing, right? The old
Uh,
people looking at we know our generation and say
and say
it's
that's
time
very
is
young
young
people.
people thing. We think it's the
mm,
going to bank and do these sort of things. It's just the mentality of the person because old people looking
mm.
down at we saying, man, I present gym, I use technology, blah blah blah, because that's when people that difficult to understand. That past me. Are we looking at that and saying that social media, all these things is past us at our
Uh,
age group. So it's really the same thing.
no, I
So,
really want us to get on the wrong track. Literally, you comparing ATMs and the usage of the technology versus a filter. Listen to that for me.
It's the same concept.
I
It's
get
the
where
same
you're coming
concept.
from. Concept with the foundation that you laying. But I'm saying to you that ATM usage is up here, filters, but that's me. That's what I'm saying. I am not saying to anybody that filters that I find you immature. Of course not. I am just saying that for me, and we talking about a romantic about nanos. We talking about romantic interest. If it is that you like skin women and you end up with a dark girl, I can be like, what happened there? But this happened. It said that I will not find somebody that actually is intelligent that just like the filters or whatever. I don't think that is. I don't think so. I
Right.
think
So,
that
but
you carry it far left.
no, I ain't
name,
trying far left. I just can't say that because I don't like it makes it wrong because people they're late filters, people they might like that type of thing.
Never said that, Keith.
People are going up in that age group like
Uh
that sort of
huh.
thing. So
But I
maybe
never
for
said
you
that.
it is, but
this
for
That
is
people
the
the
this
people
is
in chat,
versus
that's the
people.
reason
I
why,
like
and
it.
that's the reason for me.
so maybe
For
the people
me,
in chat might like it.
I don't think that somebody's profile that the whole bunch of dog emojis. I ain't gonna be in. All I'm saying, I ain't saying that people went wrong for using. I ain't saying that. I just said that in terms of speaking romantic sense, cause it that's a mix up thing. That's a completely different. Them ones don't align to me either. I take your point.
Well,
For
all right,
those
no
of you who are
problem.
not
But
joining, this is the versus series, and clearly it is really versus up in here. That's
Yeah.
better than Monica and versus Brandy on
I
Monday
hear
night.
that.
I
That
must
was big.
say,
W.
y'all just carry it
I
to
hear I
another
was
level. It's like, yeah,
I
no,
hear that
Then
was
this is
beer
then
jelly.
real versus
then we're talking. Monica and
that.
Brandy talking more than the bottom.
Exactly. So, but yeah, no, we ring
My
to this week. We ring
expectation,
this week versus
my expect,
need
my
to come
expectation.
and on us on our thing.
It
Mhm.
shows cost of beats. But Monica was talking, and Brandy was talking more than the bottom. They can watch that. Are you
All right, then
disappointed?
it was
My
off
expectation, our reality was
versus
too.
reality. You imagine that? We had this topic chosen before that, and
Before
what
then,
we
yeah,
saw Monday night was real expectations
horrible,
versus reality.
horrible.
Yeah, so we want to thank
Chad,
everybody for joining us
So
tonight.
any thoughts,
Chad,
people?
I
Let
want to
me.
hear. You could tell me something about the people, the nice people that happen to sponsor this this TV show.
Yeah, and close off this segment without. First of all,
Picking
we
up the
gotta give a big shout out
sponsors.
Bell. We gotta give another big shout out to Entertainment. A heavy shout to Alarosity.
Woo, woo.
Big here all time. But
Hey.
is
Big
get
up.
3 and
You
4
also,
people up on. You know,
yeah, we also
we
know
got the plug.
we go also big up Tony's player.
20s, Trevor
Uh,
and 20.
yeah, we got big up Tony's everything for sure. Chad.
Repeat that for me. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Let's say we got big up Tony's
Tony's
everything. Everything we got
Yeah,
big up Tony's.
Trevor and 20s. Most importantly, you got
shredder cuts.
We
our
got big up
studio,
Tony Cut.
man. Yeah, definitely. So,
Try to cut
yet
barbecue.
again, people, we just want to say thank you for coming in tonight. We apologize for the disruption, especially on my end. Obviously, it's something outside of my control, but I apologize nonetheless. I hope that you took away something from this, these topics that we bring in, because every week we can be coming with something versus that is the entire theme of season 2. I definitely wanted us to touch on family, but we
Yeah,
will not have the time to do that. So
whole segment for that
another
though.
verses, we are gonna find a verses that would inculcate the family aspect. Um, so we can definitely get on that. So big up again, C Bell, big up Travis Mobile Tire Service, big up Barely Sober Entertainment, big up Trade That Cuts Barber Studio, and most importantly, Alarosity Media Productions. Get heavy DMs, people. That's all you want to tell when I
Cause we
come
up
at me.
inside
Yeah.
ya, real up
Up
inside ya,
inside ya, up inside
up
ya,
inside
up
ya, up
inside ya,
inside ya,
up
up
inside ya,
inside ya, up
And before we
inside ya.
go,
Yes,
before we
Keita.
go, I want to tell everybody to follow us on IG at UpInsideYuh. Also, we are
Correct.
on YouTube at UpInsideYuh. And we're also on the streaming app called Anchor for podcasts. You can also follow us there. So you can find our episodes there on YouTube and on the podcast app pretty soon.
Definitely. So
And
check us
spread the
out.
word, spread the
Share
word.
with your
Come on,
friends.
guys, share with your
Share with your
friends. Let them
friends.
know. Thursday night, this is the place
Yeah.
to be because we are up inside
Like and
ya.
share, subscribe. Like and share,
Definitely.
subscribe. Tell a
And
friend to tell a
remember,
friend.
we gotta go Wakanda
Wakanda.
forever.
Wakanda forever.
Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman,
Wakanda
man.
forever.